before we get into the video, I am sick when I was recording this video, so if I sound a little stuffy and like down with it, I am sick right now, so I'm going to sound a little bit weird in this video. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Steven, back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the future of the wrestling world. We have seen a lot of up-and-coming stars. For an example, like MJF, one of the biggest heels in pro wrestling. We have guys like Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Status, Hook, and just a lot of great up-and-coming stars. But before we get into the video, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn those post notifications on. And let's jump into the video. Cue the intro.
Lee, can you turn it up, please?
Spear, you spazzed on this motherfucker.
I can't stack money to get no chrome heart. You got a bad bitch, you gon' choose who they want. You may gon' move up at my shooters, they gon' dump. We feel some pressure, we gon' move like we Trump. Yeah, my niggas say don't judge like a habit. Yeah, I feel the pressure, I'm still a savage. I keep my distance from these niggas. Wasn't back then, but now I'm shitting on these niggas. I told the rocket when I move. I'm too poppin', no, I can't go back to school. Did some meeting, you a fool. My shooter shootin', check the news. Thought I was sick the way I popped out with them blues. I got a bag on me. Used to be respond, get a laugh out of me. You insecure, no, that ain't me. You living life knowing it free. Can't show no peace when I be walking through the street. Move to LA, I'd be glad to. Thinking about the shit I didn't know.
Now let's talk about AEW. AEW hasn't really been making a lot of stars compared to Impact or a WWE, but they definitely have some talent that if they build up, AEW can be, an established wrestling company, because I still think AEW still have a long way. But there's still a couple of guys I feel as though that can be the face of that company and really, draw people in. And with the first guy we have to talk about is MJF. I think he has the potential to really be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's one of the best heels currently right now. MJF have everything you can want on a wrestler. He can get, those genuine boos. His mic skill is off the chart. Like, we all remember that promo that he cut against Tony Khan. Like come on now, that's like one of the best promos of the year. His in-ring ability is off the charts. Like, MJF is really that dude. I feel as though MJF should have already been champion by now, but MJF is still that dude. All Out is actually tonight, and if MJF doesn't return, it looks like MJF is going to be out with the company, because reports are saying that Tony Khan is not really paying him what he deserves and things like that. So there's a lot going on with MJF, but the point is that MJF, no matter if he goes to WWE, if he stays with AEW, he's going to be one of the biggest megastars in pro wrestling. And let's switch it over to one of the women's in AEW, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, from the moment she stepped into AEW, you can tell, oh yeah, she's going to be the star. She has the look. She has everything that you really would want in a superstar. And Jade Cargill, in ring, she's been improving over time. You know what I'm saying? She's not the best in ring, but when you watch her consistently, you can tell that she's improving. Her mic work is actually really underrated. A lot of people don't really talk about her mic work. And she's been undefeated in AEW. She's 37-0. She's currently the TBS champion. I don't think she should be dropping that title anytime soon. I think, honestly, if she's going to drop the title, make her AEW World Champion, because Jade Cargill can really do some damage, and she has all the potential to work to be on that Charlotte, Becky, Bianca level. So I really am high on Jade Cargill, and she's one of the most popular AEW stars in the entire company. Like, she's really popular. So AEW really cannot mess it up. But again, y'all have to factor in Tony Khan is the one booking these shows. He's the one pushing these stars. So who knows, Jade Cargill could lose the TBS championship and then just get buried for the next 8 months. So we all had to be optimistic about when it comes to Tony Khan. And the next guy is Hook. Now, I wasn't always the biggest Hook fan because I didn't always understand the appeal. But over time, I started to understand, like, yo, I see what people see in Hook. And I became like kind of a Hook fan a little bit. I always wanted him to get pushed. He's currently the FTR champion. Hook really has all the potential. Where I think Hook, aside what MJF, can really be that poster board for Tony Khan. He has that like silent killer kind of vibe when it comes to Hook. Like, he don't gotta say too much, but you know he's gonna get after it. You know he's going to just destroy you. So Hook is kind of such a good poster board for AEW. And again, Tony Khan can't mess up Hook. I mean, everyone loves Hook. You can't mess up Hook. I feel like Hook is one of those guys, man. You just gotta keep pushing him. He just gotta improve over time. He will improve over time. So Hook is gonna be one of those dudes that's just great for AEW. Another guy who I feel like can be a superstar in the wrestling world, but has just fallen off the map because of Tony fucking Khan, is Wardlow. Wardlow at one point was one of the biggest, if not the biggest star in AEW. Like, this man had everyone behind him. He was one of the biggest baby faces in AEW. And ever since he won that TNT championship, he has just slowly just fallen off. Like, I even forgot about Wardlow a little bit. It wasn't until Rampage I remember, oh snap, Wardlow's the TNT championship, because that's how low this man has dropped. And I don't know why Tony Khan, kind of stopped his push. Like, once he won the TNT championship, bro, you have to keep pushing that man, put him in the main event consistently, like, really build him up. Like, he's literally probably your biggest baby face in the entire company, and he is not, like, taking advantage of that. But Wardlow, again, just another guy that's gonna be one of the faces of AEW and in pro wrestling. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, when you look at Wardlow, like, you can tell, oh yeah, that's a future world champion right there. Like, he really has that look. And I feel like if Wardlow were to win the AEW World Champion, that would just put him over even more than he is right now. Like, I really feel as though he needs to be in the AEW World Championship picture, but he's right now the TNT champion, and that belt isn't taken seriously by Tony Khan for some reason. That belt can really be the World Championship on Rampage. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. That belt has lost a lot of value and meaning to it. Right now, if I'm Tony Khan, try to, help Wardlow put some meaning to that title and really establish that title as maybe the main title on Rampage. And the last person in AEW for the women's division is Thunder Rosa. Bro, Thunder Rosa, man, I'm already putting her in that Charlotte, Becky, Sasha Banks level, Bailey level. I do believe in Thunder Rosa so much, and it's just the way she's being booked right now is making her look like she's not even worthy of being AEW World Champion. Like, Thunder Rosa, first of all, has phenomenal in-ring ability. Like, man, this girl can put a 5-star match on with anyone. If you watch Women of Wrestling and you watch some of her matches in AEW, you can tell Thunder Rosa really that bold. But the way she's being booked, the way she's being pushed is like Tony Khan just don't even really like Thunder Rosa like that. And if you seen the reports that he didn't give her enough TV time to address her injury because she quote unquote wasn't a draw compared to CM Punk, which is like, bro, if you just don't like Thunder Rosa or you don't care for the women's division, bro, just say that, because we all know Thunder Rosa is a main event level talent. Again, I think Thunder Rosa is going to be one of the staples of AEW. I think she could be one of the staples of women's wrestling for the future. And one more guy before I forget, Daniel Garcia. This dude is an absolute monster, bro. Like, Daniel Garcia is different. Again, I'm already putting Daniel Garcia in that generational, class. Daniel Garcia, when I look to him, is a main event talent. Like, I'm telling you, I feel as though he has the ability to go out and go main event and all out. If he's in WWE, go out and main event of WrestleMania or something like that. Like, I really believe in Daniel Garcia. Like, this man has just been putting consistent bangers on AEW each week. Like, Daniel Garcia is a different kind of animal, and I feel like Tony Khan needs to be pushing this dude to the moon as much as he possibly can, because Daniel Garcia is that guy. Well, first, let's start off with WWE, and one of the biggest stars right now, in my opinion, in WWE is Austin Theory. This man is so good. His heel work right now is unbelievable. I know WWE see him as, the next John Cena. I know eventually they will turn him face, but right now, Austin Theory heel work is just on another level. In this day and age, being a heel is so hard because you don't always get that genuine, boos and all that. But Austin Theory, he gets a reaction out of the fans. He gets those genuine boos. Like, you can see that, people legitimately hate this man. And in the pro wrestling business, and especially in WWE, it's only a few people that can, get those type of reactions. I would say The Miz, maybe Dolph Ziggler at times, Roman Reigns with his tribal chief character. So getting those fans' reaction and getting those boos from the heart is so hard. And Austin Theory right now is doing a hell of a job right now. And Austin Theory has everything you can want in a superstar. He has the mic work. He's great in ring. He gets those fans' reactions. So to me personally, I feel as though Austin Theory will be the face of the WWE. I think he's going to be the golden boy. I think he's going to be the next mega star, or if not one of the mega stars for WWE. He has everything going, and I'm on a bandwagon of saying, I do think he's the next John Cena once he turns babyface. Or WWE can even keep him as a heel and maybe have him, maybe the next Randy Orton that everyone just hates naturally. Like, I don't know, but I do see Theory more as a face. And one of the next guys that I think will end up being one of the faces of the company is Carmelo Hayes. This man, Carmelo Hayes, is different to me. When I look at Carmelo Hayes, I see the next Shawn Michaels, like the charisma, the in-ring work, the mic work of Carmelo Hayes is just on a different level. His run in NXT right now has been so great. I think at this point, he should be called up to the main roster, maybe to SmackDown preferably, just because Raw is really, really stacked right now. But he would do great on SmackDown. He's one of those guys that I see that could potentially dethrone Roman Reigns. It's unlikely, but I would not be surprised if he does. I think he is a future world champion in WWE, and I think for right now, call him up to SmackDown, I think he would be a perfect contender for the IC championship, or if he's on Raw, he will be a perfect contender for the US championship. So Carmelo to me is just a different kind of cat. Like, he's definitely going to be one of the future guys in pro wrestling. This dude is only 26, 27. Like, he's still on the younger side. And with Triple H running WWE now, he's going to make sure a lot of his NXT guys like Theory and Melo get pushed. And when you look at Melo, man, this dude is a generational talent. Like, I'm calling it right now. He will, to me, end up being the next Shawn Michaels. I think he's going to be the closest thing to Shawn Michaels. One of the next guys is Braun Breaker. He is the nephew of Scott Steiner and the son of Rick Steiner. Like, we all know what they did back in WWE and WCW. But Braun Breaker right now, he's clearly the face of NXT. Okay, he's been on a roll. He's defeated Dolph Ziggler, Tommaso Ciampa. Like, they've been building up this guy as one of the faces of their company. And I do think he will end up being one of the faces of the company. I do see him being babyface long term also. But I feel like Braun Breaker as a heel would definitely be great. But I think for right now, he should be a babyface. He's working as a babyface as we speak. Braun Breaker, to me, is the total package in the superstar. And now let's get into the women's division of WWE. That women's division, to me, in WWE has all the potential in the world to be maybe the best division of all in pro wrestling. But the thing is, they just haven't really been booked. They're really not getting enough TV time. I think right now, Impact maybe has the best women's division of all pro wrestling currently as we speak. But WWE still has a lot of potential stars in their company. For example, Mandy Rose, who has really turned her career around in NXT with Toxic Attraction, Raquel Gonzalez, Zaya Lee, Nikita Lyons, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Zelina. I'm very high on her. So the women's division has all the potential in the world. But I just wanted to talk about the women's that I think will be the face of that division, starting off with Tiffany Stratton. She's currently in NXT. I think the way she's being booked really, really well. She just had a crazy match with Wendy Chu. I think their match was fantastic. I think Tiffany Stratton, obviously she still needs more developing in NXT, but I think once she gets to the main roster, and even in NXT, for example, I think she can still be that face of that women's division in NXT and be NXT Women's Champion. But once she gets to the main roster, I think she's going to do well. I think right now, for example, if we were to call her up, I think SmackDown will be a perfect place for her. I think she's the total package for that women's division. She's really solid in ring. She has the mic work. So I think Tiffany Stratton is going to be a big time star, and she has the look and everything you could really want. Tiffany Stratton kind of reminds me of Bianca Belair a little bit. Again, I'm not saying she's going to be better or just as good as Bianca, but I'm just saying she has similarities to Bianca. And we all know how good Bianca Belair is. She's, to me, right now, the face of that women's division. The next woman is probably going to be Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel Gonzalez in NXT was booked as a monster. Her title reign, some of her feuds, some of her matches were just bangers. Like Raquel Gonzalez, to me, will be one of the faces of that women's division. I say that because obviously she has the look. She has the size. She has the strength. Like, she's like kind of the Braun Strowman, but for the women's division. You know what I'm saying? So she's already intimidating based off her height and strength. And I think her in-ring work is really, really well. And the thing about her is that during her NXT run, she was kind of basically a heel throughout the whole thing. Towards the end, she was a little bit of a baby face when she was feuding with Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship. But she's great as a heel. And right now, she's playing babyface, which it kind of seems natural for her once she got on the main roster for some reason. But I think her as a heel is just so fucking good. What the next woman is Cora Jade, another woman from the NXT division. Cora Jade, she recently turned heel. Her heel run is going really, really well. Again, a lot of people in this category, what I like about them is that the fact that they can play heel and they can play babyface. And I feel like that's kind of a big thing, especially in this, era of wrestling where, if you're a babyface, if you're too, like, I don't know if this is going to make sense for you guys, but if you're too much of a babyface, fans are going to turn on you super, super quickly. Fans already don't like baby faces. Baby faces have kind of been ruined in this era of wrestling. But if you're too much of a baby face, you're going to get booed. You're going to get turned on. If you're a heel, people are going to love you. Like, people love heels more than baby faces in this era. And I think that's really important when, you're being the face of the company in this era. I feel like maybe back in the day, you probably could have gotten away of just only being a baby face or only being a heel. But Cora Jade, she just became a heel. She turned on Roxanne Perez. And Cora Jade, she's doing a phenomenal job. To me, when I look at Cora Jade, that's a future Raw or SmackDown Women's Champion. Like, she really has everything, again, you can want in a superstar. The only thing she lacks to me a little bit is her mic work. I'm not really high on, her mic work. But in ring, phenomenal. I think right now she should be feuding with Mandy Rose for that NXT Women's Champion. I think she needs to go get back, saying when she was babyface, she lost multiple times. But I think right now would be a perfect time for Shawn Michaels to maybe start up that feud again. But Cora Jade, another, I think, big potential star, and I really like her a lot. I think she's going to be one of the big stars in that women's division. But yeah, those are, the people I feel like that will be the future in the stable of pro wrestling. Obviously, things can change, but for right now, these are the guys that I'm banking on being the stable of wrestling. These are the guys that I feel like it's going to push wrestling even more mainstream how it is already. So I think pro wrestling is in good hands. And I know I didn't get to everyone. I mean, we still have, people like Grayson Waller, Nikita Lyons, Roxanne Perez, Trick Williams, Cameron Grimes, Nathan Fraser, and for AEW, Buddy Matthews, Jungle Boy. And in Impact, I think has one of the most underrated male rosters, and I think has the best women's division in all of pro wrestling. They have stars like Jordan Grace, they have Mike Bailey, Brian Myers, who I think has a lot of potential, Chelsea Green, who I feel like is so underrated, Donna Perezzo, Killer Kelly. Like, Impact really has a lot of great stars. But I feel as though the future of pro wrestling are in good hands. There's a lot of guys that will end up being the poster boy, the baby face, whatever you want to call it. And these guys are definitely going to help push wrestling even more mainstream and entertain us as fans. So the future of pro wrestling is looking bright. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn those post notifications on. And I'm out. Peace.
It was me and my bros, we was 10 toes on that front line. Know who got your back and who was with you when it's crunch time. I only hang with they one niggas, they by my side. Don't hesitate, they let they guns fly. Got shooters who fell in love with gunfire. Gun smoke, we let them have it if they want more. We got motion like a tight end. My niggas shoot guns for fun, got switches, ain't no fighting. Tryna make it out the hood, but most of my niggas dying. If I make it out, who I'ma spend this bag with? Tryna run it up for these hard times that I ain't had shit. My mind can't even suck the fact that I'm a savage. Bitch, come to me on my birthday, no you can't have shit. I blow this glizzy in an outfit that I brought from Nemo. This first body on that Gen 5, he still say fuck it, keep it.